1, 2, the cut down. And we are live doing a special hands-on live review of the Google Pixel 7a. It's in the name. We are doing a live, unadulterated, unfiltered review where we go through our experience with the Pixel 7a. This time, 96 hours later, Friday the 12th of May is when I received it. From then, we've been putting it to work. There's a lot of testing that we've done already. And come the Monday, which is 4 days later, we're going to do a 96 hours, 4 days later review on the Pixel 7a and tell you what our thoughts are and see, is it worth it? That's always the most important thing. Have they actually produced the goods? Is the Pixel 7a worth it? And we're going to go through all that's good, all that's in between, all that's bad that could be better. But overall, this might be Google's best Pixel device yet. And I think it's so good that after testing, I realized that Google had to nerf it low-key to keep it back because it's kind of stepping on the toes of some big boys. In light of everything, the Pixel 7a comes less than a year after the Pixel 6a. Let me explain why. So last year with the Pixel 6a, it was announced at Google I/O. And I believe last year Google I/O was either 10th May, 11th of May, either one of those dates. I believe 11th of May 2022, right? But what people forget is usually when phones are announced, they go through 3 stages of release. It's your announcement date, your pre-order date, and then your public release date. Last year, the Pixel 6a went through an announcement date of the 11th of May. The pre-order date was the 21st of July, right? And then the public release date where the people of the public could actually purchase and get hands-on with it was the 28th of July. This time is different. The day they announced it was when it was both available to buy, no pre-order date, announcement date, purchase date. And on the 10th on a Wednesday, as it was announced, you could pretty much order it that evening, that day for it to arrive the next working day. So things have changed. This is actually coming a year, less than a year later from the Pixel 6a. So only 10 months after, in terms of actual availability, when normal public people could actually get it, or the average consumers will actually use. Yeah, this has come a lot sooner. So we love to see it. We love to see it. We love to see it. So the Pixel 7a, we have got a price increase this time around. So not bearing the lead. The price has gone up. Price gone up. Yesterday's price is not today's price, as they say, right? And this is how Google are, feeling to vibe with it. And what does that basically mean? We've got the Pixel 7a, which is the baby. Pixel 7 in the middle child, Malcolm in the middle. And the big brother that is the Pixel 7 Pro. Pricing in the UK, £449, £599, £849. This is the staircasing of things, right? But what does that basically look like? What that basically looks like is, this is entry level, this is mid, and this is the top end, right? And all of them are Tensor G2 powered, but there's going to be some differences. We take the Pro away. The Pro is pretty much by itself in a different place. These two are much more like, and in fact, I would say the Pixel 7, it's actually so much more of a better phone that Google had to intentionally nerf it. And I started noticing this year in my testing, right? And it's not a nerfing where it's like it makes it so bad where it's not worth it. But they knew they created something special, a true what I like to call a special edition phone, that they had to hold it back. And I'm going to explain to you and I'm going to show you the processes. And there's going to be more individual testing reviews that I'm going to be bringing out to show you why they really made it so good they had to nerf it to make the Pixel 7 not feel like, nah, you lot are doing me dirty. But they low-key did. We're running through the paces as I like to do, just like reading a book. We start from the outside and work our way in from the beginning. Let's look at the design. What's the design saying? 4 colors that it comes in, which is the black, well, obsidian as I like to call it, snow, which is the white color that I have here, the sea, which is the blue color, the coral, which is a deep orange, deep red color, depending if you're colorblind or what color you want to be referencing to. This is what we have here with the Pixel 7a in the white snow color. And oh, does it look good. I am so glad they mirrored this off the Pixel 7 design. First of all, this may feel like glass. Brother, this ain't glass. Look at me when I tell you that this ain't glass. This is a high quality polycarbonate plastic material. And I promise you, it don't feel to me any different to how the glass material really feels on a Pixel 7. That's very, very, very telling for what Google have done in terms of the materials, right? They've gone for the brush metal frame, very much like the Pixel 7. So again, this is going to withstand scratches so much better than the Pixel 7 Pro. Reference, Pixel 7 Pro. Scratch fest, all because they decided to use the glossy finish on a metal frame. So this is a scratch fest, unfortunately. And this is something I called out, that I wish they just kept everything to the same standard as what you saw on the Pixel 7. Brilliant work. Love this. Much, much better looking in terms of visuals. And also it's going to hold up so much better against scratches. What else have we got? What else have we got? We've got the buttons placements here. I've near enough gotten used to it. If you're coming from a Samsung, it is reversed. You've got the volume rockers at the top and a power button at the bottom, which is much preferred because it makes it much easier to reach for quick launch when it goes to going into the camera. If you don't know, quick launch is double tap the power button and it takes you straight into the camera wherever you are, whether it's on the lock screen or the phone itself. Very quick and convenient way to be able to flip and get into the camera, take some shots. These buttons feel absolutely excellent and really well put together and gorgeous in that retrospect. Of course, you've got the microphone and the speaker grill, microphone and left speaker grill on the right, USB-C port, which I believe is 3.0 speeds because it does transfer really, really quick. SIM ejector tray with the SIM, which is single nano physical SIM. It does support an eSIM, so you can do dual SIM, but it's not dual to physical nano SIMs, which is my preferred. It is one physical SIM, one eSIM, which I guess is fine. Google logo at the back. You've got the noise cancelling microphone here, and also you've got the speaker grill earpiece here at the top, as well as the front display, which we are going to get into a bit later. It is using a metal frame, so overall this is really well put together. In terms of protection against the elements, as we like to call it, elements being obviously dust and water, this is ingress protection rating 6.7. So IP67, so which is good for 1 meter of fresh water for up to 30 minutes in submersion and fully dust resistant compared to the IP68 of the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro, which is 1.5 meters for 30 minutes in freshwater submersion. So very durable and very well built. Bezels in terms of the fix, slightly thicker on the bottom, but actually it's fine. And of course, it is a flat display, but there is a slight curve, which just makes it so, I'm telling you, it's so subtle. It's still flat, but it's so subtle that what I love about that makes it so good is how easy it is for your finger to slide and your thumb to slide when you're doing the back gestures in Android. Like if you're talking about the back gestures here, this, so good, so good. That is pretty much the overall design. What's my thoughts on it? Excellent. One of the best design mid-ranges. I love the design. Even without a case, you know, it really, 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 really hits differently. What do we have next? We have got the display. Right, let's zoom in. The display, we got the display right here. And I think, no. There's no I think. The biggest pain point, what Google are doing at the top end with the Pro Series displays being QHD plus 120 Hertz LTPO is the right way to go. But that middle child of the Pixel 7 or the normal numbered non-A, non-Pro, that should move up to being a 1080p 120 Hertz display, non-LTPO, but adaptive somewhere between 60 to 120 Hertz or 48 to 120 Hertz. It doesn't need to be LTPO at all, right? And then the entry-level child in the 7 Series A, the special edition, that needed to move up to be a 1080p 90 Hertz display. But guess what? Boom, we got that. We've got that now. We've got the 1080p 90 Hertz display, but there is a caveat and there's a catch. Here's where the caveat and the catch is. Here's what you do for my Pixel 7a users when you get it, because you're going to notice that it's going to be running pretty much and behaving the same as your Pixel 6a or prior to A series devices. You have to go all the way down and see that the smooth display option is toggled off. What it says is, it automatically raises the refresh rate from 60 to 90 hertz for some content, increases battery usage. This is going to be disabled. You want this bad boy on. What else about the display has really, really impressed me? The haptic feedback. I promise you, I noticed it instantly. How did I notice it? I always go here, right? Go to About Phone, go to Android version. You go to Android 13, double tap it, and there's always a clock Easter egg. Now, when you do this, my goodness, you can feel the improvement and the taps. You can feel the improvement and the taps. Instantly knew the haptics had improved. My goodness, the haptics, the vibration motor in here that gives you the vibration and the haptic feedback, it's so much stronger, much more crisp, much more tactile. It just feels premium. This, to me, feels like flagship level haptics. In a phone like this, it has no excuse being in a phone like this. As in the sense of Google, you didn't need to go this hard with haptics, but I'm happy because this is one of the features you don't see on a spec sheet. And if you pay attention enough to how it helps the quality of the phone usability when it comes to typing response, UI interaction, this is such a nice upgrade that I was not expecting them to do. The haptics, beautiful. But one thing I did save was fingerprint recognition. We are going to sign up to the fingerprint recognition and see what is up with it. This is using an optical reader. And I know since the Pixel 6a, when Google went internally into the display using an optical reader, they've not had the absolute best reputation for having the most consistent fingerprint sensor, but they've come a long way. They've really improved it. They've come a long way to really improve it. We're using the index fingers. So the most common ones I use are the 2 thumbs, 2 index fingers. Okay, so we've got a fingerprint unlock set up. We'll do the face unlock after. We're gonna here. And then this is gonna come directly from the display. Let's do index finger. Great and smooth unlock. Love to see it. We're gonna do thumb. Great unlock straight from the display. We love to see it. We're gonna pick this up. Yep. This is working like a treat. Yep. This is you seeing it for the first time. Love it. This is a great in-display fingerprint sensor performance so far on the optical level. We love to see it. This is actually a very, very good performance. Very good performance. Okay, let's do the face unlock setup. This isn't going to be the most secure biometric unlock, but it's more for convenience. So we're going to start, place it here. Quick, nice and easy. Now that you pick up your phone and tap the screen, you can use the secure face unlock. Works best when there's enough light and you're not wearing a mask or dark glasses, of course. And then it gives you the option where it says right here, what it should say is require eyes to be open. And then also you can skip the screen at lock. So after unlocking, go directly into the last used screen. What will then happen is once you do that, bam, it goes straight in. So excellent. Biometrics, excellent. Biometrics, excellent. I just wanted to reserve my experience and actually see what the setup process was in terms of what the setup process was with the fingerprint sensor, how the face unlock worked. The fingerprint sensor, my Google, you've nailed it now. For an optical fingerprint sensor, it's as good as an optical fingerprint scanner can get. I don't see this being any better than it needs to. Next up is the performance. Okay, what we're looking at when it comes to performance, let's open up CPU Z, right? This is Tensor G2 powered. And in terms of the configuration, it is broken up into 3 clusters, 2 ARM Cortex X1 cores, which does peak at a maximum of 2.85 gigahertz. Then you've got the 2 middle performance cores, which is 2.35 gigahertz, which is the Cortex A78, and you've got the A55, which is the 4 efficiency cores at 1.8 gigahertz maximum clock. We do finally have 8 gigabytes of RAM, as you can see, total RAM there, which is a nice upgrade, and 128 gigabytes of storage. But this is the Pixel 7 family, people. Hope this gives you an idea of the performance that you're going to be working with the Pixel 7a. It's so far been great. It's been excellent, in fact. It's been well optimized, in fact. But I do feel they've done something you won't feel it in the real world. I just want to put it out there. You won't feel it in the real world. But I do think they made the Pixel 7a so good in retrospect. They had to do something to nerf it. They had to do something to nerf it. And I think this is one of the areas, but they nerfed it in the right way for you not to notice. You're not going to notice it. You're not going to notice it. But to say it's the exact Tensor G2 chip, I personally don't think so. But that's a personal opinion based on just odd little findings. Now we're going to be talking about the camera. And this is an all new camera system. All new camera system. When I say all new camera system, compared to the Pixel 6a, these are cameras that we've not seen in a Pixel. The main camera sensor, right here, this main camera sensor here is now 64 megapixels. The ultra wide is now 13 megapixels. And then a front facing camera, aka the selfie, is also 13 megapixels. And it still gives you the ultra wide perspective. These are all new cameras. All new cameras compared to the Pixel 6a, and it shows with some caveats. So did a camera comparison against the Galaxy A54. And the findings were very, very, very interesting. The findings were very, very interesting. Overall, when it comes to the camera performance of the Pixel 7a, right, it does do a very good job. It does do a very good job. Selfie camera, for example, when it comes to the video, it shoots 4K 30. It's very, again, I highly recommend you go watch this camera comparison. I will link it in the description below and then the cards above on this live stream so you can see it. But the most immediate competition is definitely going to be the Galaxy A54 within most regions. It's going to be the one that's compared to, right? That's a 50 megapixel main sensor, 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 32 megapixel selfie camera. The selfie overall, when you're looking at a person, is better on the Pixel 7a. But my unfortunate issue with the Pixel 7a is, if I pause it and you take a look, if you look at the detail and how it manages foliage and grass, it does not do a good job at all. And I'm going to be doing a camera comparison against the Pixel 7 because I don't remember the Pixel 7 behaving like this. Generally speaking, when it comes to the camera performance, when someone is in the subject. So I'm going to go here. So instead of just doing landscape, I also do rear camera. So if we look at a rear camera, overall, the rear camera detail, when you're shooting in 4K and it's focused on someone being the subject, the detail on the Pixel 7a is actually not bad. It's actually good. Is it as good as the Galaxy? No, but because it has better colors, better stabilization, generally speaking, when someone is in the frame as a subject, the detail for both the ultra wide and the main camera sensor, it's actually really good. It's the surrounding environment that it just doesn't process it well. It's a blotchy mess. And it's quite disappointing how much of blotchy mess it is. It's still overall the better pick because, like, for example, in 1080p 60 frames per second, the Galaxy A54 loses all form of stabilization, only works on the main camera, doesn't work on the ultra wide. But if you look at the detail, this isn't good. Again, I definitely recommend you go watch this camera comparison to get a full scale detail look on how the camera performance is on the Pixel 7a. Let's look at software. Everything you know and love about the Pixel software experience is pretty much here. We go to system, we update it. We are on the latest May software update. I'm not going to waste much time here in terms of the software. Everything is pretty much the same. Everything is pretty much the same. I need more time to pretty much test it to see if there's anything that's been held back from the software experience. But the main thing I've noticed, of course, is from the camera features, like I established and I said, but live captions are there. So this is the benefits of Pixel. On the phone when closed. On the other hand, I've gone the opposite direction, which is very similar to what Oppo did with the Find N2, but better because that. So software-wise, this is the goodies of Android 13, and of course, what Google have promised with the software is 3 years of always version updates, or 3 versions of the OS updates, and 5 years of security updates. Still not the best. Still not the best. That still goes to Samsung, because Samsung promises 4 generations of OS upgrades with 5 years. So the same 5 years of security updates, but an extra version of Android. So this should be good to Android 16, I believe, maybe 17, if they count Android 14 as part of it already. But this will be one of the first devices to get Android 14 out of the box from the jump, just based on the Pixel experience, which is what we love to see. So take that into consideration in terms of how that will look like. And yeah, that is the software experience of the Pixel 7a. Let's wrap it up. What's my conclusion of Google's 8 series device? This is actually Google's best Pixel they've made yet. But because they've made it so good, they had to hold it back. So this is, to me, the best Pixel that's ever been made. Not because it's better than a Pixel 7 Pro on a technical level. Hell no, it doesn't have a periscope zoom. It doesn't have the 50 megapixel sensor. But when I say the best phone ever, some of the best products that are made, it's not because they're outright brutally the best, but they strike a right balance of where they're meant to sit. They don't sit there comfortably alone. Bro, they sit on the throne. And in fact, they cause so much problems for why some of the more expensive phones are expensive and why we pay more for them. This is one of those devices that makes you question, why am I paying more for a different device? And for you to pay more for another device upgraded to it, you have to really, really ask yourself what makes it justified. Let's look at the Pixel 7, for example, IP68. I don't think that's a difference enough for you to get it. The camera, to an extent, yes. If you value video, being able to record 4K 60 on all your lenses and switch between the back lenses when you're in 4K 60, potentially, again, I'm going to test it to really look at it again. So yeah, glass back, a brighter display, maybe a more consistent high frame rate and refresh rate of 90 Hertz on a Pixel 7 compared to the Pixel 7a, maybe. But these are all just maybes. And I guess maybe what makes the Pixel 7 more justified is because it's been out since October and it's been out for 6 months and more now. You can readily find it brand new on Amazon for £486. And considering this is £449, you would pay the extra and get the Pixel 7. Of course, it makes sense to you. But generally speaking, this is going to be coming down on price very soon, right? So out of the gate, this is a device that's been made so well, so well that Google, I've never seen Google do this. They've had to hold back things that shouldn't really be held back, but it makes sense that they did to protect the lineup. I don't know how I feel about that, but all I can say is that, yes, this is the best Pixel ever made so far. So good, they had to hold it back. That's the story of the Pixel 7a, in my opinion. And would I recommend it? Hell yeah. That, people, wraps up our live hands-on review of the Pixel 7a, and we've got more coverage. We're gonna have our initial 1 week review. We're gonna have a deeper dive review after we do further camera comparisons against the Pixel 7. Please do make sure you like, subscribe, turn the notifications so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on Lover of Tech. We've got way more to come. And boy, bring on the onslaught of foldables because we've got a lot coming.